All right, all right, all right. Happy Thursday night, you guys. I was telling Mel this weekend while we were away, I was like, I just love that we moved it to Thursday nights. It's just so much more convenient and I can be more present, which I don't know about you guys, but it just works for me. So I hope it works for you too. But I'm loving our Thursday night calls. I'm loving that we brought them back this year. And that we get to do this with you guys. So tonight's focus is on 4 people, me, Mel, Bridget, and Jen. And we all had the pleasure of attending a road rally conference Mel and I went to Nashville this weekend. Bridget and Jen went to Indianapolis 2 weekends before that. And what happened is with conference, Winter Conference was a virtual ticket. You got to watch it online, but then with that ticket came the chance to attend an event called a road rally. And so it was basically like a mini conference with lots of tips and things. And I know that each one of us came away with just so much knowledge and really just changed. And most of all excited, I think is kind of, is the energy that I have. And so we're going to kind of go through some questions and just really kind of break things down and go over it. So the first question, I want to go ahead and go to Mel, I'll let you start, and that way the other girls, I know they're probably a little nervous, and you and I are just used to that. You said you feel like, man. So, what was your best tip from this weekend that you would like to share with everybody? The best thing that you walked away with that you are going to implement.
Okay, so I had a couple. I couldn't narrow down to just one. So as far as best tips, there were several. I took notes, of course, my green personality, I took notes, but the first one was something that we talked about last week, and it just kind of like brought it all together. And it was network is your net worth. Network is your net worth. And so, we can talk all day long about growing our network, but until you grow your network and you get the network that you're looking for, then that will determine your net worth. Duplication happens when you have relationship, and this business is turned into all about relationship because that's what people are searching for. People want to know you. They want to be friends with you. People are looking for friendships. They're looking for someone who believes in them and somebody who will take the time to get to know them before they will purchase from you. Okay, so no one cares what you know until they know you first, and that kind of goes together with that. So you always want to be sharing about yourself and about your family, and it's hard when you first join to hop in this business and just be an open book, right? It's hard to do that. It's hard to make that transition, but it pays off in the end. And so people are going to care more when you're more vulnerable. And then the last one, actually, I have 2 more. Why not me? Why not now? Okay, why not me? And why not now? I've heard this 1,000 times, but it just hit me this weekend. Why not me? Why not now? What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Right? And then the last one, what came from Cammie, and it was during her segment, and she said, what I didn't have, meaning what she didn't have from her enroller, what she didn't have from the business, what she didn't have from her parents, what she didn't have from her family, she made for her team. And that's literally what I feel like I want to do for this team is I want to be what we're missing. I want to be that missing piece, and I want to be I want you to feel valued from me. All right, sorry. That was a minute.
No, that was perfect. That is perfect. I love these bullets because they're really good. It just really kind of focuses on some key places. You forget when we encourage you to add to network, like you're like, yeah, I know, add friends, add friends, add friends. But when you sit there and you put that into your network as your net worth, because that's how you're getting paid by reaching out to that network, it really kind of like hits home a little bit differently. And if you notice, like a couple of these were all about having relationships, and I think that that's something that we all I think even the business is transitioning too. It's about forming and bonding in relationships. And I think all that came from COVID because we missed it so much that now we're all just craving it. We are really just craving it. And to, like the one that says, no one cares about what you know, you can be the most important, knowledgeable, well-paid person in the room, but if they don't know you, and if you don't take the time to actually form a relationship with you, they're not, they may not listen. They're not going to listen. They're going to take more and respect more when you take the time. So I love that. All right, Bridget, let's go with you. Tell me your best tip from the weekend that you're implementing.
Let's see. I think it's come prepared for rain if that's what you're praying for. And meaning, if you're not preparing for the outcome you're preparing for, no, if you're not preparing for the outcome you're praying for, how will you be ready for it? How will you know what to do with it? That was like my biggest. And that came from Lisa sharing, and Jen, we both love this story of Mary with the red umbrella. I don't know if you've heard her tell that, but it's about a little girl who goes to church. The pastor asks everyone in a drought to come and pray for rain. And she brings her red umbrella, which is in the way of everything. Everybody's trying to see around her umbrella. And the pastor is asking her to put her umbrella down. And she says, well, I thought you asked us to come pray for rain. And he said, well, I did, but can you put the umbrella down? And she says, well, how am I going to be prepared for the rain if I don't have my umbrella? And that's what you're asking us to pray for. And there's several more. There's so many, never assume your customers' use of products. That was a huge one. Just assuming that they know how to take them. I've only had one that I really have had that happen, that she was like taking her fat fighter in the morning, but when she got up instead of after meal. But that one was huge. And then setting up a retention schedule was a big one. Learning how to set up a schedule to check back in with your customers very routinely, not just sporadic, because that's a problem I've had of just randomly checking in with people and not getting really much of a response. But if you set it up ahead of time, then they're prepared and they know that you're going to contact them and ask them like, okay, it's been your 7 days. Have you seen this? Have you, experienced this? Are you not getting a result? How can I help you? What else could I help you or change to that might get you a better result if you're not getting a result? That's it.
Awesome. Love that. And I'm going to come back to that because that's part of my best tip thing too. I'm really glad they touched on that with you guys too. Love that, Bridget. And I love the visual of the rain and the red umbrella. I have not heard that story, and that is freaking adorable. But it's the truth. It's like you're sitting here praying over your business, desiring for more to come, desiring for more to happen. But yet the Lord keeps saying, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready. And so, setting everything in place. Mel and I actually kind of have talked about this ourselves. It's like, it just wasn't our time. It wasn't our time. Like, we were reflecting this weekend about who we are as people and how far we've come in just our mindset, the battles and things that we have overcome and gone through to set us into such a time as this, and into where we are in a place with our team, in the things that we have in place, where we're going with Freedom Legacy, the things that are coming that are in place for our team, that are going to be coming in for a place for our teams. I think that, sometimes all of that has to be aligned so that we have our umbrellas ready. So I love that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Jen, you're up.
Okay, I had to write notes because I would have been like 15 different ways to Sunday. So, and Mel and I are a lot alike, so that's why she had notes too. So my biggest tip or takeaway was when this was said, our business is not like any other business around, because we have the health message, we have a wealth message, but we also have a God message. And so you have to remember that if you pray over your business and if you do the steps that they've outlined for us, they give us everything that we need to make ourselves successful. You have to step outside of your box. I literally wrote down on here, stepping out of your box, because you can't grow if you're stuck in the same place. And one of my biggest things from the weekend was I left Indy with a no fear mentality. I left all my fear in Indy, all my fear from needing to be worried about doing TikToks. That fear is left in Indy. My fear about people saying no to the business, that fear's in Indy. I'm in Ohio, that fear's in Indy. So there's no fear left with me in my business. I've done TikToks, I've done Reels, I've asked people about the business, I've talked to people about products. I've talked to more people since I've been back from Indy than I have in the last 3 months. No fear. All my fear is in Indy. Now, when we go back to Indy, because no lie, Bridget and I will probably go back to Indy, because Bridget and I are the new Mel and Mel. We are now the besties. So you have now like turned us into the next group of besties. One of these days we'll live on a property together and grow old. So, but when I go back to Indy, I will remember that I left my fear there, and the fear is not going to come back to me because I don't need it. I'm grown so much in just in that 12 hours. I grew so much into a different person. And I have so much more, but I'm waiting for the next question.
Listen, number one, it shows, Jen. Like if I can even, like, I texted you, I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was the day before. And I literally said, like, your content is freaking on point. And like, I mean, on point. Your posts, your reels, your content, like, and you know, you and I, and this is just, and I'm not sharing much, but you and I, we've had conversations about content and stuff. And so, and like, I was just, as I keep seeing this, your stuff pop in my feed, I'm like, her freaking content is boss. I mean, like, it is on point. And so I'm just so freaking proud of you. And I just love that you said, I don't need it. I don't need it. You don't need that fear anymore, because you don't. It's like, and I think so all of us will have little pieces to share. It's very similar to that. But, and I love that we created 2 new besties. I mean, like, I think that's just like our, see Claire and Katie forming their little life in Montana on the land. You're going to watch me and Mel create our little life on our land. We're going to watch Bridget and Jen create their life. We're just creating social media besties all over the place. Now we got to find Megan, her bestie that lives near her. And get, you know, and just have all these little, we're all going to have these little homes on land, living our best life.
Wait, Megan's bestie doesn't have to live near her. Bridget and I are 6 hours apart. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's so true.
Megan, we will find you a bestie. You just wait.
It's just amazing how
your bestie in.
It's just amazing how this business can bring people together. You know, like, it really, really is crazy. Like, eye-opening. So my best tip, I'm gonna go back with customer retention, and this is something I'm terrible at. And as a leader, like, you know, I'm just gonna be completely upfront and honest. Excuse me, I struggle with customer retention, mostly because I don't take care of my customer, and that's just being completely honest. In this business, we deal so much with negative side of things. Okay. And when I say that, we get people that aren't happy with their product, or they want to cancel their auto ship, or blah, 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 blah. So in my mind, I hesitate to reach out to the customer because I feel like I'm going to get a negative response. And what they talked about was, number one, they gave us a statistic, and it shocked the heck out of me. 70% of distributors were customers first. They had us raise hands in the room, and literally it was true in that room. And it was true for Mel and I. Mel and I both raised our hands. We were customers first before we joined the business. And I don't know why that didn't ever hit me before, but if you don't take care of your customer, they're never going to join your business. You signed them and left them. You didn't even care to see if they liked their product or if it was in the right fit, because we know that not every product fits everybody. And we know that sometimes it takes some trial and error. It did for me too, to find the right fit for you. And so it really just, Mel and I are kind of looking at a couple key things to implement over the next couple of months to try to help with customer retention. And I'm not going to really talk about those yet because they're very much in the early stages, but that really touched me that we needed to create something or an environment or community to be able to help focus on keeping our customers and then also making them interested in the business. What like Bridget said, was a schedule. One thing that was mentioned was putting it on your calendar, and actually setting it into your calendar. So I know some people use Connect. I never open Connect unless I'm sending a shopping cart. I wish I was better about that, but I'm not. Some people use it and send all those reminders. I don't. But what I do is I put all my follow-ups and coaching calls and everything into my Outlook calendar. And so what I'm going to start doing is adding in at 7 days, like Bridget mentioned, 7 days, checking to make sure they got their product, giving them instructions on how to use it so they're successful, and then checking in again at the 3 to 4 week mark before their auto ship runs to make sure we still want to continue that product, make sure that they're happy and that they want to use it. And then, continuing that touch back and then setting a once a month reminder. Instead of letting fear, because just like Jen just talked, I don't need it. We need to stop letting fear rule it. I might have more retention, more successful customers, and those customers might turn into distributors that already know how to take care of customers. That's one thing that they said is you don't even need to teach your new distributors how to take care of customers because they watched you take care of them. You took care of them. You checked in with them at 1 week. How'd that make them feel? You checked in with them at 3 to 4 weeks. How'd that make them feel to make sure that they were getting the right product? You checked in with them monthly. And then you don't even have to teach them that. They come in knowing to love and care for their customers. That really hit me over the head. Let me see if there's anything else on here I wanted to add. Here's one of the quotes they said. Don't be afraid that they didn't like their product. Be afraid that they didn't find one to fall in love with. This business literally has changed my health for the rest of my life. It has given me a tool. I could not lose weight on my own. I'm just being honest, these products, whatever they do to my metabolism, I don't know what it does. I don't know what it does, but it takes me from losing ounces on my own to pounds. You know what I'm saying? It is a huge help, and it has changed my health and my life. Why would we want to make sure that other people are having that same success? Other people have my same story too. They've bounced around from product to program to product to program to whatever. Why wouldn't we want to make sure that we help somebody get their final product for their life, for them to gain their health back? So I loved that. Okay, that's all I have on that. All right, next question. Your aha moment. What was your aha moment from the weekend? So we all sat through, training, different speakers, different panels, got to see some of the people that we've been watching on some of these Zooms that we share on here, which is always exciting. but what was the one thing that literally just walked away and changed you? So we'll go in the same order. Mel, you want to go ahead and go first?
Sure. So, one of the panels talked about, this was Morgan McIntyre, Martin, and Rachel Jones, and I can't remember the other girl's name. But the other girl actually was the one, she'd been in for 8 years and actually brought the boom during this panel, which you wouldn't think so, because those other two girls are bomb, and they, anytime they say anything, we're all like, whoa. But this girl, we didn't know. Okay. And she started talking about kind of a little bit of what Mel was talking about, starting a VIP page for your customer retention, but also for potential distributors. And that was an aha moment for me, because I, in the past, had a customer page that I would add someone to once they ordered. But because of some technical issues, I didn't start that back up. And so I kind of beat myself up over that, because of how much I've grown, with customers through the years now. But having something personable that you can have for people, especially if it's a potential distributor. And that's also something that Claire's been, testing as well. And so that's something that I definitely want to get going. And then my other aha moment was at the very end of conference, and it was actually just something Mel and I were sitting in the back, wasting some time talking things over. And you guys, like, I really didn't realize, I knew there was something missing. Okay. 3.5 years, and something was missing in me. At first, I thought it was support from my family. I thought, everything, the devil just throws everything at you, right? But it ended up being a belief thing with me, believe it or not. 3.5 years in, I can believe in everybody else. I can cheer you on all day long. I can teach you how to do all the things. But in the end, it was a belief thing, believing in myself that I am enough and that I can do this, and that I'm not everybody else. And I'm not, I'm who God made me to be. And so that was my aha moment.
You are enough, friend. Every single one of you are. You are so enough. It's so worthy. All of you are so worthy. He called you into the business, just like I said, for such a time as this. And I am just so, so excited to see where he leads each and every single one of us. And I was just honored to be a part of that moment. All right, Bridget, go ahead. Your aha moment.
Mine kind of goes along the same thing. Really just listening to all of them talk about where they started, how they became who they are, and their journeys there, and learning to believe in not just the products, but the people, their teammates, trusting your teammates and pouring into each other. I think one of my biggest moments, and there's actually one of the pictures that they shared on the Freedom, was all of us in a circle with Lanisa, and she's talking and telling us about her version of marketing. It's a love marketing, and she goes through steps of what love stands for, and it's L is for listening, O is for open and offer, being open and listening to what they're saying and knowing helps you know what to offer them. V is verifying their problem, listening to what they're telling you, finding out what their problem is, repeating it back to them so that they hear what that problem is and it verifies it for them in their brain. And then edify is E, finding something nice to say about them and making them feel good. Because when you've now talked about the fact that they have a weight problem, and that's never anything, that doesn't feel good to talk about how you have this weight problem and you're overweight and unhealthy. So you need something to pump them back up a little bit and make them feel good about themselves in the end. And the love marketing was one of my absolute favorite things that I talk to any of them about. And the other aha, I think, is just realizing not that you don't know they're people just like you, but meeting them and talking, like with Kyler. He was one of the very first people I had an in-depth conversation with. I just realizing that he is just like us. I mean, we had a common story about losing, someone that we were close to over the business, and knowing that I made the right decision at first when it doesn't feel very good and you feel like, wow, I'm really like ending this relationship over what that person perceived as a money deal, or putting yourself out there on the internet, and realizing that you made that right decision, and talking with Kyler, and knowing that God put me on this path really helped me to know that I'm in the right place.
I love that, Bridget. I love that. They are normal people. And I think we celebrityify them, a lot, just because we literally watch them on our stuff, they are kind of on a tube, we are kind of our little mini celebrities, but they really truly are normal people just like we are, like nice, normal, have crazy stories, just, which I love that. As far as losing someone in the business, it's so funny. I was talking to my sister and she was telling me a story about my niece today, about her and her best friend, and her best friend and her were having a disagreement, and I said she doesn't need to tear her best friend down. As women, we're supposed to lift each other up, and I think sometimes in life that's not always the case. Women are known for being dream crushers of each other, and if anything, this business has shown me that there are women that you can actually trust, that will fix your crown when it's tilted and tell you have something in your teeth, because that's just, we are creating a community of love, and just proving that not all women have to be drama. I am in a leadership chat, and one of the girls had done a reel, Ashley Wilkins had done a reel with us in the coffee chat, with Cammie, and somebody responded on her reel, and it said, I can't imagine all the drama there is with all those women present, that many women in a room. There's always drama. Well, in that room, there wasn't anything but just encouraging and love, and pushing each other to be better. And that's what society thinks, is that a room full of women is going to be nothing but drama. And I just love that we are changing that perspective, and that we as ourselves have that for us. We're very blessed. In this love marketing, oh my gosh, I sat with a one-on-one with Lanessa, and I got taught this too, and it is so good. It just really makes you think. And literally, as I'm scrolling through social media, the word listen keeps coming up in my head. And as I'm seeing people do things, or as I'm messaging, and I'm looking and listening, instead of just mindlessly scrolling. So love that. So very good. All right, Jen, give us the goods.
All right. My aha moment is not like anybody else's because I don't think anybody else had this experience. So we volunteered to do like check-in and things like that. And so I did my check-in part, and there wasn't very many people in Indy. A lot of the people decided to go to other places. So I had told Bridget, I said, I'm going to go to the restroom before it starts. I'll be right back. So she goes into the conference room, and I come out, and I'm getting ready to head into the room. And Kyler walks up to me and asks me if I want to go to a leadership dinner, a dinner for all the leaders that night. And I was like, sure. I mean, I didn't know what the heck he was really talking about. So he asked for my cell phone number right there on the spot, and he sent me this invitation. So I tell Bridget, she's like, that's really cool, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm terrified because I'm having such bad anxiety about going to this dinner. Because like the people who are at this dinner are like double, triple diamonds and higher. So of course I go to the dinner and I'm late because they decide to start it early and I didn't get the message. So I'm the last one in. But anyway, so after we were all done eating dinner, we sat around, and Adrian and Lanisa wanted to talk to everybody, and they wanted each person to say what their goal or what they're striving for 2022. So here's my aha moment. I sat there and listened and watched people who are making thousands and thousands of dollars each month cry over the fact that they're in this business. They were so emotional because that's what this business has done to their lives. This business has changed from what they thought it was going to be to what it is going to be. I'm sitting there with Brittany Landrum, who's talking about the struggles that she's had this year. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I've had some struggles just like that this year. Brittany Landrum's like one of those people that I put on this pedestal that thought she's like the end all be all. Okay. So then, what's Kim's last name, Bridget? Kim Kane, is sitting there and she's talking and she's getting emotional. Okay. And so I'm sitting there and I tell them the no fear thing, because that's my thing for 2022 is no fear. Okay. And Lanessa grabs my hand and says that she wants to partner with me for the year of 2022. I'm not even in her region, but she felt like she connected with me. Here I am sitting there with all these people who are like superstars to me, okay, with tears rolling down my face because I'm so emotional, because just being invited to this dinner and being in a position where I was able to break bread with these people made me feel like, you know what? There's a plan for me. There's a plan. There is a purpose. There was a reason that Kyler had one spot to offer to somebody to go to that dinner. But why did he pick me? Bridget and I have had this conversation multiple times. Why did he pick me? Out of everybody that was in that room, why did he pick me? So that was my aha moment, because he picked me.
Why not you? Why not now? Just using the words not used. No, I love that. I love that so freaking much. That is amazing. I love it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're right. He does have a plan for you. Oh my gosh, he does have a plan for you, because there's a reason you were in that room. I was telling Mel that this last weekend. I'm like, we deserve to be in the room. Mm-hmm. We deserve to be in this room. We deserve to be invited to these things. And like, he had a reason for you to be there. So I love it. I love that so much. And, you know, like you said something to me when you came back, you said the fact that Lanessa, someone from corporate, cared enough to grab me and say they shall partner with me. I said this earlier this week to somebody. I'm sure they get paid. Okay, I don't know how they get paid or whatever, but they are paid. Our work ethic, what we do every single day, does not impact them in the least. They're literally giving of their time to impact us and take time for us and create these pages and these Zooms. And, like Leness is very active in the Southeast region page. And, like they are really trying to make a difference and make us better and be present. Mel and I had talked about this, these regional leaders that are placed in all these regions across the state. Like we never had a touch of corporate. If you weren't a certain level, you never got to even have be in the room, be present, be spoken to, much less get a private phone call from them.
I've had two, and she's not even supposed to be my lead.
Right. And I think that's just because they love and they care and they want to see us all succeed. And I think that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So love it so much. If anything that I could say about this, and I'm going to share my aha here in a second, is get in the room.
Yep.
Get in the room. Don't pass up events. They teased out that there's going to be, per each region, there's going to be 10 cities that they're going to be doing what they call a try it, a sip and sample, whatever. They'll have some products there for people to try. They're really open for networking and bringing people that are new to the business or haven't even started the business yet, almost like an opportunity event. And really just getting in the room is so important, because you already see we each had something that impacted us. We each walked away better. We each walked away excited. And so, and we aren't even finished with the Zoom yet. So my aha moment, I had a little bit of, I know we've kind of touched on belief and stuff, so I'm not going to stay there very long, but basically just a no excuses mindset, and just renewed my belief in self as I'm looking at these people walk across the stage. And and I actually know personally one of them that we saw, that a couple of them that were on stage. Like, I am no different than they are. And I think that belief in just like I can and do deserve to be up there too, training and teaching, and just that stop putting myself down. Sometimes I really struggle with my self-worth as a leader and just in different things. And I just was like, Mel, you are no different than they are and can be at the top of the room. And so now it's time to show them that you deserve to be up there. And so that was for me. One thing that Mel popped into the chat that it was my aha moment was that we're problem solvers. We truly are. And I think that sometimes we think that we're bothering people or we're just selling products or whatever. But in reality, we are problem solvers. This business was brought to me because I had a problem. I had a weight problem. I needed it solved. I started losing weight immediately. And then I had a problem. I wanted my products paid for because they were expensive. And I was like, and I had people asking me already, and I wasn't selling this stuff. I had people asking me what I was doing and losing weight with. And I was sending customers to my enroller, and she was like, it's time for you to start, at least you get your products paid for, because I sure as heck wasn't wanting to sell anything, but I was like, sure, I'll get my products paid for. And then all of a sudden I had another problem solved, and 3 months later I didn't have my husband's income. God knew that I was going to have that problem. I didn't know any of that problem solved 3 months before, and we are problem solvers. And so we need to stop looking at this like it's such a burden, like that we're bothering people. Like, when you take your page from not being spammy and just sharing what you love, sharing what you love to do, sharing about your life and your family and God and your faith, you're not bothering anybody. All you're doing is sharing what is important and passionate to you and what's changed your life, or what's going to be changing your life is what you're working towards. We are problem solvers. We have an answer for so many people, all ages. We've, over the last couple of weeks, I've seen some people skipping businesses and moving to other businesses and, trying new things, Snap, Saint, just all these different things. I've been watching these people leave It Works and go do something else. And as I'm looking at these people's product lines and, comparing them to ours, we truly have something for everyone, all ages, man, woman, longevity, short term. We have an amazing compensation plan that pays you so well for just doing, like I was explaining to my new DT this week, like we get paid our commissions. Okay. So off our sales already, that's great. That's awesome. But they're incentivizing it. Like they're like, hey, we'll give you $50 for this. We'll give you $100 for this. We'll give you $350 for this. We'll give you this and this and this, and we'll send you the Punta Cana. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to do that. We are blessed. We have a solution. We stopped, and that's that just kind of hit me. Like it just was said so eloquently. Like we are problem solvers, and so I feel like that in itself is a mindset shift for us. That there are so many people in this world that struggle, that are losing their hair because of COVID. COVID hair loss is a huge thing. Huge thing. We have something that helps it. My sister is using our collagen, our hair, skin, and nails. Her hair is growing back. Like she had huge trouble with the hair loss. We have stuff for vitamins. We have smoothies. You name it, we've got it. For all ages and men and women. And so, like, we are problem solvers, and we have the best business around. So, that was my aha moment. All right. So last thing, we're just going to finish with this. And we've got probably about 15 minutes, girls, that I want to try to tidy things up with. But the last part is, what was your favorite part about the weekend? I know we've had a lot of fun. We've given some tips, but like literally, what was your most favorite part about the weekend? And why would you encourage, I'm going to throw this extra now. Why would you encourage somebody else to take part too? And some of that may be our same answer, but all right, go ahead. Mel.
So kind of a little bit about what Jen said. We got invited to Cammie's personal room, hotel room,